Recently, FIL Coin has been on a pretty good run, and I wanted to look for something else that might be a sympathy play. STORJ is that comparison. So let's take a look and just run through it real quick, where we might be going comparison-wise, how they might stack up to each other. So STORJ, I don't know. I don't like the name. That's why I passed on it when it was listed on Coinbase. I watched it get ready, and I don't know. I've looked at STORJ for a long time, and I think FIL Coin has like the good name, It's got the interesting team. Website's a little better. I like stuff with snap and pizzazz. A confused mind says no. If you don't know what something does, generally people pass on it. You need market adoption, you need use, and you need, people to come to the table to buy something to make the price go up. It has to outweigh the coins that are being dumped. And I didn't really think STORJ was going to have it at first. Digging into it, I think a longer range play, it's as good, if not better than FIL Coin tech-wise. Not so much as far as like something people would look at and be like, oh, I want that. Like FIL Coin makes sense. STORJ doesn't at first. I think it has a little bit of a marketing problem to overcome, but they're also really catering towards S3 compatible, decentralized cloud storage. They're going after big, like Amazon's business. They're going after the area that FIL Coin is not going after. FIL Coin is going after like the little everyday guys. These guys are going after big users. And when we go through this, you'll kind of see that, and you'll see why I kind of think FIL Coin is going to end up where it's going to end up, and STORJ is going to end up where it's going to end up down the road. So this is definitely a longer swing play, a sympathy play, and I do think once people understand STORJ more, it's going to go. And for reference, we're looking at like BTC not breaking down. BTC, if it does break down, it's going to take everything with it, so all this means nothing. Point is moot. Tech doesn't matter at that point if BTC breaks down, because bear market if it goes that way. But as far as things coming up, you do need FIL Coin and you do need STORJ for things for the interplanetary file system, for the new web that is decentralized and that can't be taken down. So there is a place for STORJ and FIL Coin years back. There really was no place for them. They were a bridge to somewhere that was nowhere ready yet. And there was no bridge to them. So they were just like kind of orphaned. They were an idea that was before its time. And there still could be another, company that comes along and does what STORJ and FIL does better than they do. But for right now, FIL's good. One of the developers that I worked with years back, he had told me, let's get into FIL Coin. FIL Coin's a thing. And I looked at it and I was like, dude, no one's really going to use this. Like, it was like $2. And I looked it over real good, and he's like, yeah, let's get all the server space. And I got all the server space, and we'll store stuff on it. And it didn't make sense at the time, because it was just, bear market and there's nothing going on. But I do like the way they do their graphics. It does make sense. And I always said, down the road. Crap, down the road. I looked one day and it was like $29. And I was like, well, I'm definitely not buying it now. And I didn't think that it was time yet for that level of interplanetary file storage stuff. But it is. They're marketing hard on Instagram, Facebook, and other places like that about like unstoppable domains and things like that. Unstoppable domains is powered by places like FIL Coin and STORJ. So let's just go through that. Like, I really do like FIL Coin. One difference is, they're really about the snap and the pizzazz. Like, they make it easy for people to look at this and want to buy it. I look at this and I'm like, dang, dude, they really spent some time on their website. And it doesn't mean they're technically better, but for anyone that's not super techie, it still feels good. It feels like you want to buy it, like you want to be part of it. It makes sense to you, even though it's super techie. It's got the nice paint job, it's got the extras and the frills that, are not super over the top, but just enough that that they care, that the rubes like us, and the little normies and the non-techies, can grasp this. Like, I see all this and I'm like, okay, they definitely put some time into it. Where they differ though, these guys are definitely after, I forget where this was at. This is a lot. I've been going through this all night. Got to go through a little bit more. They're definitely after Amazon's people. And their pricing model is a little bit different. Let's see, was it under token transparency? This has to go for part of the thing too we looked at. So they pre-mined all of it. That doesn't really get taken into consideration on CoinMarketCap. The max supply is missing, and I never could quite figure out how they're going to finish what they're going to finish with the supply. I read the white papers, both of them, and I read the website, and the clearest and nearest that I can tell is that they pre-mined all 424 million of them, and there's 253 million in float. So they have some reserved, and those are for paying people who are doing proof of, how do they call that again? Proof of service, or it's not proof of stake. It's not staking network. Proof of storage. So the more you store and the faster that you get that information back to people who are calling up on the layer and paying for the data, you have a chance to create a block. So when you do that with your proof of storage, you have a chance to get some STORJ Coin. And that is their max supply from best I can understand, compared to FIL Coin currently has, max supply. So there's going to be more issued of 2 billion with a total supply right now floating of 62 million. So 62 million versus 424 million. And we'll drop that into some math in a minute too, to see like about where storage should be if it is a sympathy play compared to FIL Coin. One thing that I do think STORJ does better, and FIL Coin may do this and I may have missed it, but STORJ first from our side encrypts the files before it shards them and splits them and sends them off. FIL Coin does not. They just take your data, send it off and shard it. And again, it's not that it's not secure, but it's not as secure. So again, this is more for like podcasters. Oh, here it is. Private data, websites, videos, DApp websites, podcast data. Like, you don't really need that, encrypted to some crazy degree, because they're not after like government assets or, huge companies that have really, data that can't be looked at, like medical, things like that. And also something else they're doing to get those people. Let's see, where was that at? So, benefits for our open source partners: revenue sharing. Revenue sharing. Open source projects that incorporate storage as a cloud storage option for their community can take advantage of our revenue sharing model. For every $1 STORJ earns, we will share 10% with a referring open source partner. So if you're at a big company and you're the person who controls where data is stored, whether it's on Amazon or here, Amazon's probably not going to give them a kickback. I don't know that to be true. I didn't look. But these guys already are way less in cost, about half. And if you're the referring person, you're going to get 10% of whatever they spend. They're definitely going after, the more important data and the bigger contracts as far as I'm concerned. To me, they're going to be the slower play. They're not as, going after the little guy. They're not, snappy. The website is very techy. I mean, it's dry. It really is dry. So, the flash might need to be there to sell in crypto, because we all know that, pink unicorns sell and good tech sometimes gets passed by just because it looks like a tech website, that isn't really flashy. And that does concern me a little bit, again, also with the name, but the fact that they're actively after revenue sharing and, they offer a lot of support to the people to bring them on. They offer wholesale pricing with tier discounts based on total storage. So there's a lot of reasons for bigger technology people to go with them. Platform support looks really good. I mean, I don't know how true it is. I haven't used them, but it sounds good, on paper. And they got joint marketing. So they're definitely trying to create awareness and demand for your services with storage ecosystems and with your customers and prospects through joint and co-branded marketing and PR. Well, that being said, again, all their stuff looks really dry and techy. I'd like to see what some of that stuff looks like. And the only place I could find that had anything that, remotely looked markety that I would want to see and go, oh man, was this little video right here. Let's just watch this. It's real short. It's 30 seconds. I think I didn't record system audio on this. Yeah, I didn't. Well, it's 30 seconds. You can go see it at tardyguard.io. This is one of their partners. So they're definitely working on maybe some of that co-branding, co-marketing. So another nod to them, I can say that they have some of what it takes. And if there's only two companies really in the space fighting over the customer, they're definitely going after a different customer in general. I do like what I see. And tardigrade, whatever the fuck. This is them using STORJ. And, see how it works. And they've got a little better website, in my opinion. They've got the straightforward pricing. And this is where you can look at like, okay, so estimated $55 to use this company, $108 to use Amazon. So, about half. Google Cloud, under half. And Azure here, around half as well. Plus, you're getting a kickback on that. So while you might say, oh man, they're going to get less of a kickback, why would they do it? I don't think Amazon gives any kickback or Google Cloud gives anything to like, whoever's running the corporate website there that is going to, buy storage. So they could save their company money plus get a little kickback. To me, I think that's an interesting potential to bring the price up and to bring them business and use. So FIL Coin, man, that is a hell of a chart. I mean, you're talking from back in... This chart should go back a lot further than that. That's weird. Well, anyway, should go back a lot further than that. And it says it starts at 25. That's not correct. All right. So anyway, so we're up at like a max of 218 from in the 20s. Maybe it was 20 when he told me it wasn't 2. But I know it was further back than that. I need to go look. Where's the highest and low ever on this? 52. Yeah, there we go. So clearly this chart doesn't go back far enough because it says it starts at 25 and it's saying that the 52-week low was 303. Anyway, there's more chart on it. Yeah, there we go. All-time low, 183. So when the dude had told me about it, it was like $2 a couple years back. And I was like, I don't see any use for this. And as you can see, there was no use for a long time. And by the time it popped up to like, $25, $29, man, I'm sure it's, not going to buy it then. That seems like way overpriced. And it just meandered along, and I thought, it's seen its run. And then everything went crazy. Is FIL Coin worth $200+? I don't know. But when you're looking at BTC at 58,000, almost 60,000, and FIL Coin being about 200, if STORJ does everything that FIL Coin does and a little bit better, minus the snappy pizzazz and the onboarding from the front end, but has the better back end trying to bring people in, how far could it go? Well, let me take a look at that real quick math-wise. So what did we say? Let's just go with open float, what is out there right now. And then obviously max supply is going to keep pressing on FIL Coin up to 2 billion. And it seems like STORJ is going to stop at 424 million. So if, let's see, 62, 424 million, let's call it 425 million. Divided by 62. Let's call it 63. 6.85. And if FIL Coin is $200, that would put STORJ at a 1-to-1 ratio if it was, equaled out to 29.19. Do I think STORJ is worth 29.19? Yes. Do I think it's worth that right now? Not yet. I think it's a long intermediate swing play based and hinged upon a few things like obviously BTC pressing. I do believe if BTC continues on and it looks pretty good, unless it just falls apart from there and it, double tops and it's done. But you've got Elon, he's accepting BTC now. PayPal went from the walled garden to actually accepting it. I think that went in reverse. I think back at 10, 12,000 when PayPal said they were going to maybe take it someday and let you use it, and they were only going to sell it to themselves and people on the platform internally, you couldn't transfer it off, couldn't use it. I don't think the price should have ran then. I think the price should have stayed then, and then when they actually did accept it, then we should have went to 50,000. Now that we're at 50, 60,000 and Elon takes it, for Tesla and all these people have bought in, it's all baked in. It ain't moving now. You saw Elon Musk bought in and it, whoop-de-doo, nobody really give a fuck. And now that PayPal said they're going to take it, that's cool. They brought it back up from like 50 because it was falling back up to like 60 to test, but no one really cares. It seems like all the good news is baked in. got Mark Cuban coming into the space, for NFTs, but that's still shining light on the space in general for BTC. I think they have done everything they can right now to really press. If it's going to press, it's going to press, but they're going to have to come out with some big guns to really make it sustain. If they do, there's a good chance they do. There's a better chance they do than it just falls apart for a while anyway. And let's just say all things stay equal. BTC goes to like, 65, 70 and just kind of hangs out and consolidates there. And lets the rest of the market breathe. Then if FIL Coin can stay 200, I can see a case for STORJ over time. It's neutral right now. Being able to become what it's worth as a sympathy play. I was looking at it a little bit earlier too. So a 61.8 would be a really good buy. 237-ish, 235 level. If it retraced all the way back down. Oh, that was a terrible burrito. Ugh, sorry. If it retraced all the way back down to the 78.6, it's about $1.89. I could see a case for $1.89. That was, the first real pullback after the pop. And that was a top out at, the 61.8 at 235. There's not really a spot for a pullback there. So anywhere between that would be really nice. I could see the 0.5 holding because it's already, come down and tested a little bit and soaked up. Maybe one more time down to the half at 267. If the market falls apart, then obviously, you're going down this direction. If it sustains, stays at 70, I think there's a good chance that we go up to 4 and at least test that. And if BTC is looking good as we're going forward, I can see a case for consolidation pop, a little bit of pullback, like a 1, 2, 3. This is a lot of consolidation. It's had a lot of chance to pull back and soak. There's been a few volume buying 4-hour blocks come in that did meet supply overhead. It's clearly met supply all the way over here in this range. And once it finally tried to get over it, it found it and brought it right back down. So realistically right now, that the reason that is too is that's $3. It's a whole dollar mark. $3 is having a problem pressing over, but the 0.5 at 267 has pretty much been the lower floor. Lower floor, consolidate over, maybe 5, 10, 12 days, 100 days, depends what BTC is doing. As long as FIL Coin stays going or FIL Coin starts pressing, I can see a very good case for other people starting to catch on and go, what is a sympathy play? FIL Coin costs too much. It's already up so much. Are there any other diamonds in the rough? STORJ, diamond in the rough, definitely. Now, this will be on STORJ to get their shit together and get the marketing better because it is not there as far as I can see. They are definitely chasing down some enterprise customers. I don't know how fast that goes though. Like, how do you really convince people to leave Amazon and Google, places that have a hell of a track record, great marketing, a great name, to get into decentralized file storage? I think that takes a while. So I could see this taking a long time to break to the upside. I definitely keep an eye on it. I did buy in at 290s just for like a little short play. I want to see about that 340 test up there, maybe the $4. I'll probably take it off. If it starts running for like 267 is that lower floor, I'll probably hold it even though I'll be a little bit underwater on it, and I'll probably average down, maybe down to 0.618. But that worries me that if BTC is breaking down and I'm already averaging down, I don't want to be holding that if the market just turns. So I'll probably run stop outs at 267 to be honest, and I'll probably definitely take profits. Just not too much higher, just kind of feel it out. And as it's going along and make some more motion to the side, I'll decide where we're at overall market wise, sector wise, and inside this space where FIL Coin and STORJ are fighting over, those customers. I want to see how they do over a little longer time. I don't leave all my money there for too long, but I definitely could see a case for this breaking out. And if it breaks out above that supply zone there, it could go to 5 pretty easy. I think 5 is probably the decent target, especially with that kind of consolidation there. If it holds and gets over 3, I could see it ramping to 5, 650 pretty easy, pretty fast. I could also see a case for BTC taking it, down to like, $1.89 to $1.37. So I don't want to be holding that on this one. Anyway, that's my ideas on STORJ. Hopefully anyone that knows any more about them, you could add it in the comments. If there's anything I said that was wrong, I only did a few hours of research and looked them over, read the white papers, and that's the best that I came up with. Again, I think they're good enough, and I think with there only being two competitors in the space, I think they got a pretty good shot of making it.